If you feel that there's some areas of your life that are feeling that they're dead, or you feel they're almost like destroyed, that means that the enemy has taken over your life. And so what I'm proposing is to live an abundant life. But the only way that you can have this exuberant amount of life is find in the source, which is Jesus.
This is the Legacy Maker Show.
Hey guys, welcome to another episode of Legacy Makers Podcast, the place where we talked about what it means to live a life with purpose, with faith and strength. This isn't just another podcast or episode. This is a divine appointment for your life. If you're ready to step from the step of surviving into start living abundant life, especially in your marriage, this is the right place for you. This is the right podcast for you. I'm your host, Roger Salazar, and today we're going to be diving into episode number 27. I can't believe we actually hitting the mark of 27. The title of today's podcast is Abundant Marriage. Because see, you will never create a marriage that just get by. You were created for a marriage that thrives every single day. That marriage that reflects heavens and that makes the enemy nervous and trembles, and the one that actually leaves a legacy for your kids that they can build upon. So if that's you, if that's your desire, I just want to say welcome. You're in the right place. Last week, I was going to tackle this very same podcast. Last week was just absolutely insane. I had to go out of town, so it got crazy. But everything happens for a reason. Probably you would not have listened to this podcast if it happened last week. So I'm super excited about today, and I am really ready to tackle this. If you have any questions or any concerns or just want to chat with somebody, please let me know. My desire is to continue to pour into men and continue to help men to be the very best version they can be of themselves. Because the reality is this, man, you are under attack. You are under attack. The world, the enemy doesn't want you to step into your purpose. The enemy wants you to be in a corner and stay there, do what you do on a daily basis, do your little routine, and basically gets you into a place of solitude where you are doing the very same thing that you do on secret. And as long as the enemy keeps you entertained in that arena, then he is winning, because your marriage is going to be hurting, your family is going to be hurting, your business, things that the impact that you could create on people is not going to happen. So the enemy is okay by you just staying on the corner, giving you a little bit of a carrot for you to entertain yourself. I don't know how it happened to you, but many times with my dog is acting up or he wants a lot of attention, I go to the pantry, get a really strong bone and that he can chew, and I give it to him, and I know he's going to be entertained for a couple of hours. That's what the enemy does with us. Throws us a bone. Here's a little porn site. Here's a little bit of a drink or movie or distraction. What happens with that is that he keeps us entertained so we don't fight the fight that we are calling to fight. And that goes for all of us. How many of us have gone to a place in our journey to where we are actually embedded into that bone, and we just gonna in our corner, and we don't fight, we don't do what we are called to do, we don't do what we are created to do, because we're entertained with this thing that the enemy is throwing at us. See, the enemy knows us better than we know ourselves, and that is the reality, and that is super scary, because the enemy knows your weakness and my weakness, and he throws that bone at us because he wants us not to have an abundant marriage. He wants to come and attack our marriage, attack our families, attack our legacy. He desires for us to step on a corner. That's what the attack of men is so intensified. But if men were able to step into their calling, if men were able to step into that which they were created to do, lives will begin to change. Marriages will begin to heal. Actually, our society will begin to heal. So it's one man at a time. And I'm just interested with one man at a time. If that's you, I'm calling you out. I'm saying it's time for you to step out. Are you tired of being the dog on the corner with the little bone? Are you tired of being entertained by the enemy with that one particular failure that you have? Whether it is an addiction, whether it is a root of bitterness, whether it is sexual immorality, whatever it is, the enemy is trying to keep you on that corner because he doesn't want you to step out. He doesn't want us to step out. And we do that sometimes. We become victim of the enemy, and we tend to just isolate ourselves. So today, as we dive into this episode 27, living an abundant life, my desire is for you to understand that God called you and I to have an abundant marriage, a marriage that thrives, a marriage that not just get by or survives, but a marriage that makes an impact, that makes an impression on those around. Not because you're better than everybody, but because you are pursuing that which God called you to pursue. In fact, in John, I want to go there really quick. Guys, just hang out with me today. I'm actually very passionate about this. Just so you know, guys, I've been married for almost 30 years. And it has been an amazing, amazing journey. Not easy for anyone. I'm pretty sure I put my wife through the ringers many times. But we have been able to work through circumstances that life has thrown at us. So I'm not sharing this from my heart of when I'm talking an abundant marriage. I'm not talking for someone that wants that in their life. It's somebody that actually has pursued the Lord. And it has not always been the same. In fact, I would say that in the last 8 to 10 years is where I finally understood what this marriage is. Now, I didn't say that in the last 10 years everything has been perfect and I have not gone into my corner isolation. I have. But I have always come back into the reality that my purpose is to create a legacy and create an imprint on my son and my daughter and my son-in-law, that they actually can see, you know what, I can live an abundant marriage. In John 10:10 says, I come that you may have life and have it abundantly. I have come that you can have life and have it abundantly. See, God doesn't just want you to live. He wants you to live in abundance. That is actually a blueprint. This verse is actually a roadmap that applies in every part of your relationships. Applies in your spirituality, emotionally, financially, and physically. He came so you and I can have an abundant life. And that is such an incredible roadmap that God is giving you and I. So let's start in that moment. Abundance doesn't begin with just having stuff. We think we're living an abundant life when we have a lot of stuff. It begins with the Spirit. It's not a financial promise, it's a life promise. This is, I have come that you can have an abundant life. Didn't say that you can have abundance in every area, but abundant life in every area. So he's promising you and I that we can live an abundant life. However, though, because you're living this life that God is freely giving it to you and I, think about this. Today, you didn't have to do anything at all. And God in His mercy is giving you a new day, a new opportunity, new challenges. But the enemy is coming to not just to steal that life, to suck the life, but to kill the life and to destroy that life. The enemy is coming to steal, kill, and destroy your life. You have to understand that. And the Lord is saying, I have come to give you life, a more abundant life. And the abundant marriage starts when you both are individually connected to the source of life. When you both realize that your source of energy, strength, and power comes from the Lord. The Lord is the one that brings that is almost like your lifeline to be able to execute that abundant life. You can't pour into your spouse if your own well is dry. You can't pour into each other. You have to fill your life up with Him, with life. I want you to understand this point that I'm trying to make, guys. I want us to understand this for a second. If you feel that there's some areas of your life that are feeling that they're dead, or you feel they're almost like destroyed, that means that the enemy has taken over your life. And so what I'm proposing is to live an abundant life. But the only way that you can have this exuberant amount of life is found in the source which is Jesus. And when you find yourself that you're drying and there is nothing to give to your spouse, that your spouse is coming, trying to get from you that which you don't have, that means that your well is dry. And that means that it's a time that you have to go to the source and ask the Lord to give you strength, to give you vision, to give you determination, to give you passion. It's not about having a perfect marriage. No. You have to understand, I'm not talking about perfection. It's about connection, connecting to the source. If you feel that your life is being sucked out of you, that means that at some point in our journey, we have disconnected from the source. And that happens to me all the time, guys. You know, when I feel like sometimes people come at me with trying to get something from me, my business partners, my co-workers and my friends, and they're trying to get something from me, and then my spouse, then my kids, then this and that, the other, and then I feel that I don't have anything to give. I feel like I'm drying. I feel like there is nothing in me to be able to give. And when that happens, then I become resentful, not because of what they're doing, but my inability to be that which I know I can be, because I am lacking of connection. I'm not connecting to the source, and therefore I'm not connecting to the individual, because my source is the Lord. So if the Lord is giving me an abundant life, then I can pour that life into those around me. There was a guy that I actually met. I meet with a lot of guys all the time. I'm meeting on one-on-ones, and it's amazing when I hear their stories. I hear their journey, what they're going through. So I met with him, and he said that there was a season early in his marriage when he was showing up physically in his house, but spiritually he was in autopilot. He was working, providing, serving the church, but he wasn't living in the moment. He wasn't connecting spiritually with his wife. And because of that, he started noticing frustration. He started noticing this distance between him and his wife. He started feeling that he didn't want to go home. He felt like he was always on an edge, always ready to fight, ready to feel like he was always feeling that he didn't have anything to give. And the moment that he started spending daily time in the Word, even 10 minutes, everything began to change. His tone changes. His patience changed. His patience began to grow even more. Not because he was trying harder, but because he was living a life in abundance. Why he was living life in abundance? Because he was connecting to the source. He began to understand that he had a well that it was dry. And when he began to spend time with the Lord, then he began to get life back into him, to say he was able to pour life into others. Are you feeling that you don't have anything to give? Are you feeling that people are coming at you and you find yourself dry, angry, frustrated? Maybe it's because we have lost the path into the well. Maybe we have shut the door into our connection with God. It happens to me literally all the time. When I feel like I'm disconnected with God, everything seems to be out of alignment, out of place. My business is out of place. My relationships are out of place. My relationship with my wife is out of place. With my kids is out of place. I start feeling guilty. I still feel shameful. I still feel more tired because I'm not connected to the one that gives life. Guys, I just want you to please understand what I'm trying to say. God came to give you life and life abundant, but the enemy came to kill, steal, and destroy. So if you feel like that your life is being sucked out of you, that's because the enemy is stealing your life. And when he's drying you, you are staying there when he's drying, you stay in that dry space, and you cannot give to others when you are dry. Too many couples are chasing an assignment. They're chasing dreams. They're chasing callings. They're chasing business strategies. They're chasing ministries. But they're doing all of this before they finding an alignment with each other. Think of your marriage almost like two oxen. They're working together. But if one is pulling one side and the other one is pulling to the other, you're going to go into circles. You're not going to get the job done. But when you walk in unity, not just in agreement, but in unity. You start gaining ground. You start tilling the ground. You start beginning to take over, possessing that which God has already given you. You start marching with a heart of servanthood. Amos 3:3 says, "Can two walk together unless they agree?" Are you unable? Are you unable to walk together? Do you agree? Maybe it's time that you go back to the source that has life for you and your spouse. Here's what abundant marriages do regularly. Are you both walking on the same path? Because abundant marriages walk in the same path. Are you supporting each other's callings? Do you know what your spouse's calling is? And are you supporting that? And how are you doing that? Are you communicating your needs to one another? Because the reality is that we all have needs. Every one of us, whether you are a male or you're a female, we all have needs. I've been around so many people that they're always busy. They do ministry together, they serve at the church, they serve in their community, they go to sports for their kids, and they almost like they're in unity, but they have not even prayed together in months. That happens to me all the time. We do the right thing, we do the good things, but we both are in separate lanes, we both are in separate areas. And when that happens, not only that we're not get unified in the spirit, but we losing intimacy for the sake of the activity that we're doing. We cannot confuse a movement with a progress. Our legacy is not built on what we are doing, it's built on how we are walking together. I repeat that again. Let's not confuse a movement of moment with a progress, because we're going to have moments that they're going to be a movement in that moment. But that doesn't mean that we are progressing, because our legacy is not built on what we are doing, but it's built in how are we walking together. So I am going to break this on a practical abundance on a daily life. I am going to break down some real world ways that you can walk in abundance starting today with your spouse. Are you game? So first, spirituality. Pray together at least once a week. Start small, even if it's a couple minutes. Just start praying together. Matthew 18:20 says this, for where there are 2 or 3 gather in my name, I am there with them. So pray together. Number 2, emotionally. Be curious, not critical. Ask your spouse. Be curious. How's your heart? What's been heavy in your mind this week? What are you struggling with? How are you feeling? Be curious, not critical. That's how you live an abundance life emotionally. Number 3, financially. Create the same vision of your money. What do you guys want to achieve? What is important this month in your lives or this year? What are you to pursuing? How much money you want to save? Where do you want to go on vacation? Are there going to do we going to have the budget? We're not talking about just bills. We're talking about dreams. We're talking about desires. We're talking about things that is in your heart. I'm talking about sharing that vision together. Talk about it. Proverbs 29:18 says this, where there is no vision, the people perish. Do you have vision in your finances? Do you know where you're going? Do you know what you're doing? Number 4, physically and intimately. Don't neglect the physical connection, guys. Be intentional about your affection. It's not just a duty. It's not something that we just do. It's connecting emotionally so it can lead into intimacy. Connect physically. There is a picture that my daughter sent us a couple of weeks ago where he said, what if they didn't have the cell phone in their hands? There's 2 couples in bed about to go to sleep, and the wife has the hand like this, and then the husband as well. But there's no phone, so they're just completely away from each other, just staring at their hand. Think about the atrocity that we're living in our era. And let me tell you this, guys. If I'm telling you this, that's because I'm living this, the same thing. So it's not because I have perfected it, but it's because I am in the same trenches and journey as you guys are. Think about the life that we're living in these days, to where literally, we spend so much time on our phones, so much time, and just scrolling with no purpose, scrolling with no intentionality. And it's very, very sad because we're neglecting our physical connection. We neglect our intentional affection. And that is destroying our marriages because we allow the enemy to penetrate our homes with this device that is dividing not just marriages, dividing families. What are we doing about it? What are we going to do about it? Gotta connect physically and intimately. What if you are listening and thinking, Roger, I hear you, but you know what? I just been in a survival mode. I'm barely hanging on. Here's the truth. Abundance is not about how much you have. It's about what are you looking for and where are you looking. I'm not telling you that abundant life is all of a sudden gonna be like, something that just you click a button. Abundant life is when you begin to realize that there is nothing that you can give that is pure. There is nothing that your wife can give you that is pure, except when you go to the fountain of life. And then your life begins to be rejuvenated, transformed. And all of a sudden there is something different in you. You no longer are seeking to get, but you're seeking to give because of the life that you have in you. Psalms 121:2 says, I will lift up my eyes to the hill for where my help comes. My help comes from the Lord. If the only thing you have is a small little mustard seed in your marriage, just a little bitty thing, plant it. Speak life into your marriage. Begin to realize that it's a gift that you've been given. Realize that this is not just something you do, it's who you are. This is something that has been given to you. Fast for your marriage. Pray for your marriage. Ask for help. Go get counseling. Don't let pride keep you in the pain that you're feeling. You think, if I was with somebody else, that when you go somebody else, it may be new in the beginning, it might be new in the first couple of years, even in the first few years, but then things are it's gonna become routine again. And what are you gonna do? Run again and feel like there's no hope? If you're not connected to your wife, maybe it's because you both are dry and there is nothing to give because you have not gone to the fountain who has life to give you. Look, listen, if your marriage has been through betrayal, if you betray your wife in the secret of your burnout or you're broken, I'm going to tell you, just so you understand this, Jesus doesn't just restore. He resurrects. This is the kind of legacy that he writes. What kind of legacy do you want to have? I gave up because things became hard. Life is not perfect. And you and I know, guys, life is tough. But are you going to continue to go into the secret room, the secret place, and indulge yourself with sexual immorality because you're so afraid to go to the fountain of life so you can pour into your spouse, so you can bring life into your marriage, so you begin to build a legacy? It's easy to walk away. It's easy to just give up, but to work in something to rebuild. I know you probably feel that you betray your spouse, or probably your wife or your husband probably betrayed you. Probably you're burned out. You've tried everything and you just feel burned out. Or possibly because of the betrayal, or because of the lack of commitment, your heart was broken. Maybe you're broken because you feel so ashamed. Maybe you feel so frustrated because you're trying to change and trying to do the right thing. It seems like you go right back into the same hole. But I'm just here to tell you, Jesus is not just in the business to restore your life. He's in the business to resurrect that which may be dead in your life. And today may be the day that a new passion is birthed, that a new desire is birthed, that a new vision is birthed. And how does that happen? When you go back to the fountain, when you go back to the well, which is Jesus, and said, I gotta have your help. I can't do it on my own. I've tried it. I can't do it. I gotta have your help. And let me tell you something, guys. I don't care who you are. When you come with a God is going to lift you up. God is going to give you a purpose. God is going to begin to restore. But go back together to the source of life and quit letting the enemy kill you. Quit allowing the enemy to kill your marriage, to kill your family, to kill the legacy that you are called to build. Don't let the punk steal you, steal what is given to you. Don't let the punk steal your life, your marriage, your kids, your family, your business. Don't let the punk steal it. Don't let the punk destroy it, because he's in the business of destroying your life, destroying your future, destroying your identity. God came to give you abundant life. He came so you can have a life, an abundant life. And it starts by going to the fountain again. Even if it's a couple, go to your wife, say, let's go back to the source. I don't have life to give you. You don't have life to give me. But we have a fountain that we can go. Man, guys, I want to implement that in my life. I'm tired of letting the punk come and they steal my life, my joy. Ask the Holy Spirit to align your hearts. Start with one action with one action to do. A legacy is not built on the weekend. It's built on surrendering, on humbling yourself every single day. How are you going to humble yourself today? And I just want to say, guys, we cannot let the enemy continue to take our families. We can't continue to keep you on the corner with a carrot, with a bone, entertaining yourself. We need you. The world needs you. Our society needs you and I to step and to be the man that God is calling us to be. Your wife needs you. Your kids need you. Your grandkids need you. Your family needs you to step up and step into your purpose. So I want to say, guys, thank you so much for joining me today. I really hope with the bottom of my heart that this episode bless you. And if it did, I would just encourage you to share it with someone else. It's not just share it. Copy and share it. Copy this link and share it with as many men as you possibly can. Let's hit over 5,000 views on this. Not because of me, not because of what I am doing, but because men need to hear that there is hope for them in their marriage. There is life waiting for them. So share it, subscribe it, give it a review, put a comment. And if you need somebody to talk to, I'll be more than happy to talk to you. God bless you. Thank you so much for staying with me. And I'll talk to you next week. Talk to you soon, guys.